Hello, my name is Erna and I am 28 years old with a really bad metabolism and a tendency to gain and store fat. As a person like this, I am really into researching and learning about human body and how our bodies absorb energy and how our bodies work in general. So as I said, I have really bad metabolism and my body cannot digest most of the foods. Like I cannot eat gluten. I think I am lactose intolerant and my body doesn't process sugar stuff really well. So when I have any dessert or any kind of sugar or even like white flour stuff, I just feel like I'm gonna die. Even though I know the consequences, I do consume pizza from time to time or consume pasta or some desserts, of course. But what I realized in the past 3-4 years that when I do intermittent fasting, my body digests them with a little bit more ease. If you don't know, intermittent fasting is the pattern of eating where you choose your hours, like choose a eating window for yourself, only stick to that window. This is not a diet. This is not a schedule of what to eat, what not to eat. This is just a time frame where you allow yourself to have meals. You can do your own research and you know your body the best. I learned about intermittent fasting from this guy, Dr. Berg. This guy introduced me to intermittent fasting, and I also learned more about intermittent fasting from Abby Pollock. I don't know if she still approves of intermittent fasting for herself or for her clients, I don't know, but the first time I heard her talk about it, it was like it really made sense, like how your digestion system needs rest and stuff like that. This was really important for me because I have a self-diagnosed disordered eating. So I would binge a lot. Like, I don't know if you would call that binging because I didn't feel guilty at all. Of course, I had the stomach ache and, the physical consequences, but I never felt guilty for consuming all of that. But I did used to eat a lot, and it never stopped, throughout the day, constantly here and there, sometimes way too many full meals. So intermittent fasting came in as a clutch. To be honest, intermittent fasting for me is not about diet at all. It's just I felt like a crap physically after eating so much. And just because I cannot stop eating, I'm going to be ultra honest and say that how I look on the outside, I apparently don't care if I gain weight because in the past 3 years, collectively, I have gained 17 kilos. Yes, most of my clothes don't fit me anymore, but how other people sees me, I don't care. But the reason I started to care about my excessive weight gain was that I physically felt ill and physically couldn't move more than certain amount of time, and because I'm a fairly small person in the in the bone structure and the height and stuff, and my weight right now doesn't match my height. So currently I am overweight. Maybe I went to the obese state. I'm not sure about the logistics of that, but in the past 3 years, I have gained 17 kilos. I gained some and lost some and gained some. When I lost it was when I was doing my intermittent fasting and I was maintaining that. But the moment I stopped doing intermittent fasting, I started to overeat a lot, like multiple times in a week, maybe 2 weeks in a row. I overate, so obviously I gained weight. I have done intermittent fasting 4 times for 30-day period, but the moment I stopped, I went right back into my old habits, like overeating. This year, 3 months ago, I started intermittent fasting again and accepted the fact that intermittent fasting is the best way to go for my body unless I start doing some serious, heavy, intense workouts. And for this moment of time, eating less is more viable for me because of the circumstances I am in right now. So in these past 3 months, I have done intermittent fasting with huge success. I gave myself some days off out of the month. In April, I think I skipped 2 days of intermittent fasting. And I mean, I don't like, I say skip, but it wasn't skipping. It was just, I allowed myself to not do the intermittent fasting for 2 days. And I strategically placed those 2 days on the days where we were having a birthday party. Same goes with the May and same goes with July. But in July, I had 4 or 5 days of not doing intermittent fasting, and it's the same. Like it was like we were having a party. In my opinion, it is totally okay if you overeat sometimes when you are doing intermittent fasting for the most of the month. Everybody should do their own research, and everybody knows their bodies the best. I like to observe how my body reacts to stuff. So I know that it is sometimes okay to eat more than I used to for like 4 days out of the whole month. My body will digest that. It can take care of that. But if I do that more than that, I don't think it can digest that anymore. So I think 4 days is totally fine for my body. But again, everybody has different type of metabolism, so everybody should pay attention to their own bodies and eat and not eat according to that, in my opinion. Intermittent fasting has a lot of benefits as well as side effects. I can read you the article from the internet, but you can do your own research more elaborately. Here are the quick bullet points of the benefits and the side effects of intermittent fasting. But what I am here to tell you about is my own experience. After doing 3 months of intermittent fasting consecutively and about 8-ish months altogether in my whole life. So here's the quick rundown of my own positive experience. Not thinking about the food all the time, better digestion system, drinking a lot more water than I usually would do, feeling lighter and more energized. Also, as a bonus point, I am easily losing weight when I'm doing intermittent fasting. Another positive point I would say is that intermittent fasting is very adjustable and very flexible. I started with 16 hours of fasting and 8 hours of eating window, which is the most common type. Right now, I'm doing 18 hours of fasting and 6 hours of eating. But sometimes when I am way too hungry in the morning, I start my eating earlier. For example, today, I started eating my first meal at 11:30 and ended off my eating window at 7 p.m., which means that today my eating window was 7.5 hours, which usually is 6 hours. But like sometimes this happens and I am okay with it. This is another positive point of intermittent fasting that I like. It is flexible and it's not the end of the world if you don't stick to your schedule. And if you feel full enough, you can restore the lost hours the next day if you feel like it. Like I never feel like that. My negative experience with intermittent fasting is only the social problem. Like whenever we are in a party or going out somewhere, like sometimes I cannot stick to my intermittent fasting and I don't know. It happens. Like sometimes I feel lightheaded, but I don't know if that is connected to intermittent fasting or me not having enough vitamins in general. Like
I guess
we will never know. But yeah, these are all the positive stuff that I have seen from doing intermittent fasting. I know I talked about weight a lot, but I cannot talk about my overeating habits as much as my weight, because weight is something you can track, but whenever I overeat, I don't track that. Obviously, there is no hard proof for me to show you that I ate a lot. I just ate a lot. You just have to take my word for it. I ate a lot. And when I say a lot, I mean in caps, a lot. Yeah, intermittent fasting helps me keep myself in check because, in 6 hours, I cannot eat that much. My body cannot physically take that much amount of food. So whatever I do eat, I have to make sure that food is nutritious, because I also started doing my workouts again in late March. So it's been a bit more than 90 days. So whenever I am doing my workouts, I need the energy. So whenever I am doing my intermittent fasting, I have to eat something nutritious. I cannot just eat pasta and be okay with it. That's what I have done before, and I know for a fact that it doesn't work. For my body, pasta doesn't work. If it works for you, great. I am so jealous of you. I am so envious of you, but it doesn't work for me. I feel hungry right after eating pasta, let alone like after 3 hours. No, right after finishing my pasta, and I'm like, I need more food. It's good that with 6 hours of eating window, I don't have much time for junk food. I just have to make sure that whatever I am eating is nutritious and is going to keep me up for the next 18 hours. I also eat chocolate. I just make sure it doesn't have sugar. You don't have to eat sugar-free stuff while doing intermittent fasting. It's just what I prefer. Like with my intermittent fasting, some days I do cheat days, and on those days I eat sugar and I expand my eating window, and I sometimes do have sugar on those days. So intermittent fasting is just a perfect way for me to keep my food in the healthiest side. I hope that you took some valuable points from this video, if there was any for you. If you think I got something wrong, let me know in the comments. Again, I am not a doctor. I'm just talking from my own experience. It is such an individualized experience that even my sisters don't have the same reaction my body has to the foods that I eat. You just have to be observant of your own body, your own digestion system. Just take note, like mental note, physical note of how your body reacts to stuff. Watch Dr. Berg. Also about him, he also recommends doing apple cider vinegar stuff. Again, observing your own body comes into play here for me. I sometimes get heartburns and my stomach isn't the healthiest. Even though I trust everything this man says, I don't do apple cider vinegar because I don't want to do further damage to my organs unless I have immediate help. And right now, I don't want to talk to the doctors about my stomach because this is a whole different topic, but I don't trust the doctors here where I live. I just don't. So I am trying to take care of my body to the best of my ability so that I don't have to depend on the doctors. This is all I'm going to say about intermittent fasting. A bit informative and maybe entertaining. Thank you so much for spending time with me, and definitely let me know if you are going to try doing intermittent fasting. Again, thank you so much for watching. Follow me on my Instagram. All of my other social media are linked down below, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.